You're live and recording.
Hello, Joe, and hello,
Hel-
everybody.
Hello, Xavi, and hello, everybody. I hope you can hear us. So we see a couple of people are already in there. So if somebody wants to write down where he's from, so we have some ideas with what kind of people we're talking about. Sophia, yes, we can hear. That's great. Sophia, where are you listening from? From Madrid. That's great. Who else is here?
I believe
Mika
this
from
will be like
Barcelona.
Eurovision, like
Eurovision.
all the contestants.
Cato from Cannes. Hey, that's great. Miguel Ángel, my friend, mi amigo, Segovia. Lia, Tres Cantos. Some more? Hey, John from Madrid. That's great. Stefan, my friend from Luxembourg. Yes. Karsten from Hamburg. Hey, we are Natalie from Joe.
Oh.
Yes, from Madrid. So we are now 14 and we have 40 people registered. So we perhaps wait 1 or 2 minutes more.
I believe we could start like introducing ourselves, and yeah, and then they'll just connect when they feel so.
When they are so right. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, let's start with our own presentation. This is good. So we welcome you first of all to this webinar about the power
Yeah.
of purpose. And the idea is really like how and why having a strong purpose can help you to lead successfully on the deepest crisis.
Hmm.
Actually, before I forget it, all the time, if you have any question, ask a question. There's a button down below. So just put the question in there and we will reserve some time to really go through these questions and to answer them. So that is the idea of it. My name is Jo Hesse, and with Xavi, we will
Hello.
lead you through the event the next hour. We are both engaged in conscious capitalism here in Spain, as well as B Corp, and we're really into this kind of movements, and we really love it. I myself have over 30 years experience as CEO, CFO, as auditor, banker, and now as a consultant and a coach in different countries, in different sectors, and in different roles.
Joe, maybe
Yes,
you should leave something for someone else, like working so many things.
yep, that's true. I should stop working, you mean? Nowadays, I work as a for and with companies to assess and transform them to a conscious and a sustainable business. So this is my focus. And Xavi, what's about you?
Hello. Well, grateful to be here and grateful for the invitation from GBO, from Global Business Owners, and Miguel Angel, and Joe, especially for inviting me and counting on me.
Pleasure.
And yeah, myself, I came from working at La Caixa as a trader. My life didn't really I didn't really feel like connected with the purpose in La Caixa. So I tried to investigate new things. I started meditating, and then I discovered that meditation and business was really connected, and the means of values, purpose, and many dimensions that can really be applied to business and can really make a difference in business. So years went by, and now I founded Human Leadership. We're a team of people dedicating to just connect success with being human. Not only being more human, but also having success. Without both things, we're not really a business.
Xavi, just take your microphone a little bit further away because otherwise there's a. Okay,
Yeah, sorry.
no worries. So I'm just sharing my screen right now. Um, So you should now see, here you are, your screen sharing. Okay. So we want to start. I would like to start with just coming back to the slide of conscious capitalism. So when you have been participating in the first seminar we've done in May this year, presenting conscious capitalism. And conscious capitalism is a movement, exists about for 15 years right now. And it's a kind of philosophy. And the philosophy is based on 4 pillars. The first one is higher purpose. And this is the idea we want to present the higher purpose in depth a little bit more today. But also the stakeholder integration. So having all stakeholders in mind in a company, not only investors, but also the employees, the clients, providers, community, and Mother Earth. They talk about win-win-win, not only win you, win me, so it's winning all of us, but also about conscious leadership, leaders who are serving their teams and all stakeholders, and the conscious culture as well, based on values like trust, like responsibility, etc. Just a small reminder on that. Higher purpose is the why. Why are we doing it? And the why of our of conscious capitalism is to elevate humanity through business. And how they're doing it, it's with the 3 parts I just mentioned: stakeholder, conscious leadership, and conscious culture. Okay? So, Javi, crisis. What crisis? So we were talking about crisis in our title.
No, really, what crisis? Getting serious in there. I mean, if we are really looking at reality, we have only seen the first stages in crisis. We've seen the medical crisis, which really is tough and present. But when we talk economically, we have only seen the first stages of it. So yeah, we really need to connect both parts. Like, not only talking about the purpose, but what does it have to do with present times and the crisis we're living? Because whether we can apply it now at our businesses or we cannot. So this is the starting point. And from there, we would like to ask you, what are your present difficulties? What are your present problems? Because we have some consciousness of things that affect other businesses, but maybe we can talk about personal problems you have or you find in your own businesses. So feel free to talk and say, yeah, I found problems in this part, in the other part, and maybe we can address the conversation on your theme.
So just put in the chat down there, what kind of difficulties, what kind of problems, where are you now? How are you now? So I guess a lot of companies right now and people are in a kind of survival mode, aren't they?
Because maybe it's really surprising, because in a crisis there's also the dispersion, the variety of cases is really wide. So John, developing a business plan for 2021. Great. So do you find something that's troubling you, that's troubling your business with a crisis? So maybe we can start talking about what we see. So Sato, you say most companies and their stakeholder practice management, as opposed to leadership, make a lot of hurdles to be crossed. Identifying revenue lines. Yeah, how can we make our surrounding people to calm down more easily? Yeah, uncertainty is one of the main issues for me. Totally. Yeah. Agree completely. And in fact, those things were the ones that we prepared almost, Joe.
Mm-hmm. Uncertainty. This is a good subject today after the elections in the States. Uncertainty total. What's going on? Who is winning? Of course. What's going on with COVID? What's next? Where are we heading to?
Yeah. So Simona says, I'm in introvert mode and focusing to find out where my purpose actually lies. Okay, great. So maybe we can develop a little bit on what you just said. First of all, it's survival. I mean, not all businesses are there. I mean, we find businesses that are really having great success there, like web creators, like online marketing, like delivery. They are really having success, and we saw it with the stock raise, especially the technology businesses. So, but there are other businesses that really have big troubles on it. So, yeah, we need to understand, and we'll give it a talk later on it. How does the purpose modify survival? And we'll see on it. And we also see a really tough emotional overcharge. And you also commented on that. That you said, how can we make our surrounding people to calm down more easily? Yeah, so we completely share on that. There's also uncertainty, which you already said, and it's something that won't disappear with a vaccine. It's not going to go away. It's going to increase. And as you said, Joe, American elections is a really point on that, because like Trump is saying, maybe I lose, but I don't accept I did lose. So it's really changing the game. It's not just only elections. It's chaos coming tough. We saw it in Spain, like people rising, breaking things, and so I believe this is a starting point, and that's not. I don't want to be tragical about it. I want to be constructive about it, and that's why we're talking about purpose. What we also see is fear, and that also blocks what you just said. That how create like what you just said. Someone talked about creativity, like creating new things, new revenue lines. Yeah. So fear blocks creativity, and it's so important to take knowledge of it, and it's where we are right now. And there's also one thing. It's like monofocus. We're focused on like COVID, and our mind it's like a trap. We can focus on one thing, and if we're focused on COVID, we're not focused on business. And so we're going to develop on those things, but we'll come back to it later. So Joe, yeah, I mean, we can talk a little bit. So what does the purpose have to do with all these things?
Exactly. First of all, just think about it. I really like this quote from Mark Twain. The two most important days in your life are the day you're born and the day you find out why. Mm-hmm. So I really like this, and the picture is beautiful as well. Think about it. Of course, my spontaneous reaction when I will die. And of course, this is an important day as well. And depending on your beliefs, it's a big change maker as well. But the day you find out why, things are changing. Things are really different. So purpose is named so much in the latest years all over the business places. And I think it's it's important perhaps to just start with what makes what is the difference between all these kind of things: purpose, mission, vision. And I found this one quite helpful, at least to understand it, what we're talking about. Purpose is why we do it, and the mission is how we do it, and the vision would be where do we want to be, or what do we want to achieve. Okay, just think about it. Why we do it, how we do it, and what do we want to achieve. So how can this now be connected with crisis then?
Yeah, so
How can we connect this with the current situations where we are in, and how can this help us really?
yeah, that's really the key, because some people think purpose is about being good people, and certainly it helps people, but it's not the point. If we look at just in a business way, like really cruel one, it has so many applications, so many benefits, that if they were applied as a really cold business school, it would be just a no-thinker, a no-brainer. I mean, you should have to have a purpose. So if we look at in the present crisis, we see one thing that we were talking about: uncertainty and fear. And what this gives us, and Joe, can you take off the presentation so they can see us better?
Of course.
Yeah. So what the first point is motivation. So when we get up from bed, it's like, what do you want to do today? Yeah, I want to go sell shoes. What's the motivation on it? I mean, we're having people dying from COVID outside. Yeah, we're having people closed down at home because we have a really deep and troublesome crisis. So a purpose lets you get up from bed with a motivation. Say, okay, I want to change the world. I want to improve the world. I want to do my part. Maybe it won't change anything big, but maybe I will help someone. I will do something for someone. So that connects with what you were saying, Joe, about the day you know why you were born. And maybe you don't need to have a big why, but maybe getting up and helping one person is a small why, and we can use it. We can already get up with it.
Mm-hmm. So it's a motivational thing. You're saying it's a motivation thing for you as a person, and we are all person, even working in a company. But in a company, it's also a motivational purpose to why we are coming together working in this company, no?
Yeah, so why do we have to go to work? I mean, people are dying. Why do we have to work? I mean, this maybe is, for some people that have business, this is absurd. I mean, I'm paying you, you have to come. Yeah, but that doesn't give you your mind or your heart. That gives it your body and your time. That's the difference. The motivation is the internal will to getting in that business.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so what else?
So we also find a positive focus. Mm-hmm. Like, if we only have one focus, and that focus is occupied by COVID, our life, our mind is really dirty. I mean, it's really poor. It's sad. If we have a positive focus, like saying, hey, there is COVID, yeah, but we are doing things for it. You are a hero. You are really building things for it. Mm-hmm. So that gives you a positive focus. It lets you focus on what you will do, and not what is happening, and seeing it as a really sad thing.
There's something, this gives you direction, no? It's whatever you're doing, and this is something also important, not only like getting over COVID, but also in any kind of situation in a company, but also on the personal side. It's like, listen, what is the purpose? and it gives you like a North Star, the direction, like, hey, you know where you're heading to, so you can always like connect this with a decision you're doing in the moment, no? That's the idea about it, no?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's exactly it. So there's also confidence, because it's a really interesting game. Mind is an interesting game. It means that we can only choose to be in fear or to be in confidence, but you cannot be in fear confidence. It doesn't match. You have to be in one box. Box is fear, box is confidence. If you are afraid of COVID, if you are suffering from it and waiting to see what happens and what doesn't happen, and if politicians are going to take one decision or another, then you're passive. It's natural to be in fear. If you are building something, if you're in confidence, then your attitude is confidence. And there is COVID, yeah, but you don't remember so much during the day. and that's really a mind-breaking game. It's like cracking your mind. Because, yeah, Joe, I mean, I'm completely sure that you feel that confidence, right?
I do, of course. Creativity is another point, no?
Yeah, and it comes from confidence, and it comes from motivation. I mean, creativity is connecting with your heart. I mean, we don't see artists like thinking really tough, like really serious about, yeah, we have to be creative, and this is a really tough story. Creativity it has some passion point, and a purpose in a business gives that. I mean, because how can you dream in selling more shoes? It's really not easy. But if you dream in transforming the world through selling more shoes, because every shoes you sell, you're helping someone, maybe because you hire someone to build them that's special and doesn't have opportunities, or maybe because you give money, or maybe because it makes a more sustainable world. In whatever dimension it has, it gives you a creative mind. Like it helps you like connect your heart with the business.
Open your mind, is Carsten saying.
Yeah.
Exactly. This is open your mind and open your heart. Okay.
Yeah.
Natalie is also mentioning responsibility. It gives you responsibility.
Yes.
To follow your purpose. Carlo is asking us, what is your purpose? Nice question.
A good question. Yeah, my purpose is really to help humanity and to serve humanity, and also serve Earth and spirit. For me, that's a big thing, and that's my personal purpose. Our purpose as human leadership is to be the light that guides businesses to being more human. So that's a little bit what we do. I don't know if you want to answer, Joe.
Yeah, it's work in progress from my side. It's to humanize business and make business more sustainable, and change the world of business. This is definitely my purpose on the business side. And how? I mean, doing this kind of webinars is a way to spread the word, to make people aware of it, make consciousness, really like being more conscious on this subject.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's the last point, which is survival. I mean, in this crisis, this creativity, this motivation, this like connection of workers with the business, connection with clients with the business, makes it more resilient in the crisis. There was a study in B Corp that said that in the crisis of 2008, B Corp businesses were 60% more resilient than normal businesses. We see also that BlackRock is saying that they are betting on responsible businesses because they just make more financial sense. So it's just a winning game.
Just in between, B Corp is it's another movement from where we are involved into it, and it's about an assessment about sustainability of your business in all these levels, like employees, clients, providers, community, and environmental. And it's free. You just go into the website, you key in your data, you get about 200 questions, you answer the questions, and you get a real nice roadmap where we are and how to improve your business. So there are already 3,500 companies out there in the world being certified, and there are probably 100,000 going through the process without certification. Okay. Shall we have a look on some live cases?
Real cases.
Real cases. To give you an idea, just a minute, going back here. One I really like a lot is a Spanish company. So the people living in Spain probably know it already, Hola Luz. They are very much involved in the conscious capitalism movement, but also are a B Corp. And they have a very straightforward message. We want to change the world. And this, what they want to achieve is we want to connect people with energy that's 100% renewable. We connect people to green energy. And how they all do this, it's quite a nice thing as well. They work with trust. Trust people and build up relationships with our clients based on trust and freedom. And if you have been in contact with them, they're really quite, from what I experienced, extremely open-minded in a certain way that every time if there is a change in tariff, and it's not a change in tariff only getting more expensive, even the other way down, they communicate it and they really give it back to the people. And I really like it. It's something a good experience.
Yeah. And also, it's great because this creativity we were talking about has made them create products that didn't exist in the electricity market, like flat price electricity.
That's true. Another one very well known is Amazon. Straightforward. We aim to be Earth's most customer-centric company. And actually, if you have experience with Amazon, and I guess most of us have, it works perfect. It works really straightforward with 4 or 5 clicks. It's you buy it and you get it at home, and you can give it back without any problems, as long as you don't have problems. This is something else. The question is, and Amazon, I think it's a real nice example. They have a purpose, they have a mission, vision, which is straightforward, and they live it really 100%. But when there's light, there's also always shadow. And the shadows of Amazon, I guess, we all have heard about it. The warehouse workers who are not really paid well. That was something a couple of years ago, so I don't know if this has changed. Nobody's talking anymore about it, or they couldn't organize themselves as workers in the warehouses, and some other things. Apart from, and Natalie, you're totally right, is tax avoidance. This is something else, but this is not only Amazon. I think this is a problem all over the world with the big companies. And how this can be with conscious capitalism, I mean, this is something really to be addressed, and this is something where we as consumer, where we as employee, where we as
Yeah, Joe, I think that the thing is that we're talking about purpose, and we're putting this consciously, that we're not talking only and specifically about conscious capitalism, because we want to show like a purpose has many implementations. And as you have all said, and Natalie has talked about Olaluz and their prices that are higher than the medium. Mika was talking about a solar panel project, which is really cool in Olaluz. But Natalie said they have really a problem with tax avoidance and with workers' conditions. This is all true. We're not saying this is not true. We're saying that we're talking about the lights and shadows of a purpose. So let's not be afraid of talk about the shadows. We're talking about examples to show that a purpose really helps in some dimensions, but it's not everything. And here you can see that they are really tough at their purpose. They're really great at their purpose. But that doesn't mean that they treat well their workers. I mean, they have like two types of workers. They have the first-class workers and second-class workers. And second-class workers really have tough conditions. And we're not saying that they're cool. We're saying that they really have a focus.
And this focus can help, and perhaps can be the wrong focus as well, of course.
Yeah. And maybe, Joe, we can jump to the later, which is social forest. And maybe with this one, you will feel more identified. It is a really beautiful project. I mean, they help to create sustainable mines through creating sustainable forests. They do forestry work, and with that, they make forests more sustainable. But to do that, they incorporate people that are socially like displaced, and they help them integrate and find a job through working. So this is a really round concept of purpose. I mean, it has not too many shadows. So, but I believe that we need to understand that a really good business, it's not only one tenet of conscious capitalism. And social force is an example of having a really complete integration of all values of conscious capitalism. Yeah, Joe.
This is something we found. It's a purpose power index. You can check this out. It's quite an interesting web page. And what they did is they compared purpose-driven companies without purpose-driven companies. And the interesting thing was, would you recommend this brand to others? And 69% of the top purpose brands were recommended, compared to 31. Same for the product services, 68 to 35. Also, if you would like to work in a company with a purpose, 59% people were saying yes, they would like, compared to 26. And in a crisis, they would support 45% companies with a purpose. All these kind of things prove that, hey, listen, having a purpose and having a higher purpose, having a purpose which is not only about, and we come to this later, about money and about to be extremely successful on the results, can help you doing better and greater business.
Yeah, and that also speaks about purpose. And does it really move hearts? Does it really make people wake up and go for that business?
Okay, something more to add there? No. Okay, so how could you get to your purpose? So this is one of the models I find quite helpful, quite interesting for business. There are a couple of out more there. Xavi perhaps he has even other ideas about it. Is to work with your strengths. So focus on your strengths. What you believe does your company truly be the best in the world or the best in the market where you're staying, where you're living, where you're active. And out of this first strength and what is make up the heart and the soul of this company. So it's a lot about emotion. What does that drive us? Why are you motivated? What are you running for? What are you getting up in the morning for? What helps you? And combining this strength with passion is finding a meaningful full impact of the company. So what kind of problems can you really solve in the world? What kind of problems can the company solve, and how can this be really helpful for the world? So this could be a 3-step model to work on that. There are a couple of others to find a purpose. For example, I really like it as well is asking the 5 times why question. So why are you doing that? Yeah, because I'm doing it because. And you're doing that because why? Why are you doing that? You really like to get into it. And it said after 5 times, you should really come to the underlying purpose, your motivation of this thing. Think about it. Perhaps you want to try it out. Short message, what we think it's important. A key purpose should meet the following 8 points. And this is from Conscious Business Journey from Thomas Eckschmidt. And I think it's quite helpful. It should be a short statement. Something really short, 3 to 7 words would be perfect. Simple language, easy, straightforward, understandable. Big and bold. Something really like, wow. The aha effect, also very important. Like, oh, we want to change the world. That sounds interesting. What? How? Why? Don't forget the emotion. It should come from the heart. It should be something really touching you. It should involve everyone. Then there it starts already a little bit more difficult if you talk about a company and all the stakeholders. It definitely should not be about money. And it's bigger than a goal. It should have no numbers at all. So as ex-financial guy, sometimes not really easy, isn't it? Now, having identified the
go back, Joe. Go back to where we were. I mean, Natalie has asked us, what does the aha effect mean?
Aha effect means something unexpected, something like wow, something really like we want to be the most customer-centric company in the world. When I wrote this the first time, I was like, wow, interesting purpose they have. Okay. Effect on means surprising, unexpected. Don't be too focused on all this. I mean, sometimes it's difficult to find all these 8 points really fulfilled, but it's like an idea, okay?
Yeah.
Wow effect, exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay? So once you have worked on it, you find a purpose. And the most important thing is a purpose is fine, but how do you live it? How do you implement it? And how do you really connect this for your, what we talked about the moment in the crisis, about a moment in the day-to-day business?
Yeah, so Joe, can you leave this image for a minute?
Yeah.
I believe that people don't give enough credit to it comes from the heart. Because this is really the crucial part. We're not saying that a purpose, if we want to call the hearts of our clients and our employees,
we need to first connect with our own hearts. And we cannot do this just connecting with our minds, with our reason. So I believe that it's really important to understand this point.
So how would you do that? Working with the CEO, the management team, or the owners?
Yeah, what we do with it is that understanding that there are not two people. There's not me in the workplace that sells, that produces, that leads, and me at home, and I care about people. I like some things, but when I go to work, I do different things. Like I stop being me to be someone else, to be a fiction of myself, a fraction of myself, and I believe that's the key. It's understanding that it has to be a whole me implemented in a sentence, implemented in a mission, and that's the connection that connects with the heart. It means being complete, whether you're at home or you're at work, and there's where the heart part comes, because it has to move you. How is it going to move anyone if it doesn't move you? If you don't feel recognized, if you don't feel inspired by that, I mean, you have to get up and dream, like saying, wow, if that became true, it would be awesome. And that's the way that people get attracted to you, like workers, and when we evolve that, clients will.
So what you mean is the coherence between your private and business life, but also the coherence between what you think, what you feel, and what your body is really talking about.
Yeah, Joe, you don't imagine how right you are. Because that's really crucial. And we don't give importance to those details. Being aligned with what you think, what you feel, what you say, and what you do is really complex, because we are so used to lying. Like when we sell, when we meet people, like, don't show who you are. You have to fake papers to be accepted, to be recognized, and that's the key difference. This is me. This is what I am. I have really I have defects. I have big defects, but it's me.
We're not perfect. That's true.
Yeah.
Okay. Shall we come to the next point?
Let's go.
The purpose path.
Yeah, so first, think about Christiane. That's what we were saying. Creation is about owners, and on the defect, business leaders, because it's your business. I mean, you cannot ask your workers where they want to go. I mean, it's you. Where do you want to go? You're a leader. It's about where do you want to lead those people? And that's about an introspection, thinking yourself on where do you want to go. That's building your purpose. And once we have a clear image, like and that comes out with a sentence like Joe said, it really has an aha effect, like what we saw creating sustainable minds. It's so simple, but it really connects with people. I mean, it communicates an image of what we want to do. So, Joe, can you go to the second phase? The second one, and maybe it's the first twice. But the second one is that once we got the inspiration, we got the sentence, we got to communicate with people. Because when we're business leaders and we have great ideas, and we're going to say, yeah, right, but I have to sell. So what do we do? And people have difficulties changing their minds. Like a leader has got an inspiration, and then you have to communicate that inspiration to people. Like saying, hey, do you see the vision? Do you see what we can do? Do you see that we can really rock it? We can really change the world? Cato says, Steve Jobs said, we hire great people, not for us to tell them what to do, but for them to tell us what to do. Yeah, but the direction cannot be applied there. So, Joe, can you jump to the third one? It's about, and Cato, you're really right there. It's about landing. When employees land the purpose, that creates products. Like, okay, we want to change the world. What do we do now? So maybe we can improve here, we can improve there, we can use less plastic here, we can, so many ideas. Those ideas end up in products, in applications. So, and that's the materialization of the purpose. And then we go to the last point. That is, share with clients. And it's really interesting that we don't jump to clients before we have landed it inside. And it's like cheating. It's like, hey, we got great values and we're going to share them. Yeah, but are you using them? So this is about, are we using purpose? Is our purpose affecting our products, our people, and our idea, our focus? Then when we have it, we can share it with clients. And more than just communicating the purpose, it's demonstrating it. It's showing it on how we do, on what we do, on what, and the change in products, in the change in every aspect of the business. Yeah, Joe.
Okay, interesting. Some more questions or some more things, because I have some questions here. Just read the first one here is, to what extent responsibility in a broad sense has to do with that purpose? We tend to think that we are the passive subject of our environment instead of the actors, and we expect maybe too much from the outside, i.e. the state, to find solutions for us. Am I too metaphysical?
Yeah, Joe, can you take the presentation out so we can?
Yep, I will. Yep.
So, do you want to answer, Joe?
I personally think that we as individuals have a lot of possibilities to have our impact in this world. First of all, as family person, as private person, in your direct contact with the people around you, but also as working person, working for a company, creating a company, setting up a company. You can influence things. And then as consumers, well, what do you buy? Why do you buy things? And I think we have all our responsibility. Of course, the state can influence quite a lot of things there and can do things faster. And in a couple of questions, for example, tax questions, I'm totally in favor that this is done by the state. But I see both possibilities quite really interesting.
Yeah, and if you let me add something, I believe we have to get metaphysical. I mean, we're dreaming, we're creating purpose. We need to get a little bit more on the ideas. And we need to be there. I mean, we cannot create purpose with just products and design and applications. So yeah, we need to get metaphysical.
I agree on that. Let's dream. I think we should dream, and then we realize it. And more people are dreaming, faster it will realize.
Yeah, and I believe the difference is that when we have businesses, every day we are creating a reality. So the only difference is what reality do we want to create? It's just a small shift. That's a cool thing. I mean, we have to acknowledge that every day we are creating reality everywhere we go. So it's not a choice about creating an impact. It's a choice about what impact do we want to create.
Great. Feel free to ask more questions. There are one, two more. Please, can I have this link? Jules is asking, so please tell me which link you mean. And Gesa is asking, okay, this is, what about pollution through shipping? I guess this is the Amazon shipping 1,000 boxes. I mean, we were talking about it already. Of course, we're talking about purpose and the power of purpose, and that doesn't mean in this case that everything is fine and very discussable. Totally agree on that.
Yeah, and it's like a size of a purpose. And it's about, does it give direction to employees? Does it give them inspiration? Does it integrate nature? Does it integrate people, like socially forgotten people? Does it integrate? So there's so many aspects, and the greater the purpose, the more aspects it will change, it will affect. And that's the magic of a purpose. Like, it will get to the depth that we're able to get in ourselves, the depth that we see as our lives, that we want to change the world.
Cato is saying, the illiterate of the 21st century is not those who cannot read and write, but those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn. This will fit with your message.
Completely.
Yeah, totally right.
And this is what we're doing now. And I believe that we need to understand that the 21st century, we need to integrate heart. We need to integrate spirit, philosophy. Because what is rational thought, what is practicity, artificial intelligence is going to cope with all that. What makes us human, what makes us people, what makes us different is having fun. Is laughing. It's making a joke, but it's also connecting with other people, looking at people's eyes, or touching their heart, inspiring them. This is the dimensions that economical schools haven't given us. So when you're saying that, Cato, we're saying that we also need to learn to connect with our feelings. Because we cannot connect with someone else's feelings if we cannot connect with ourselves' feelings.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Tino is saying empathic capitalism. Yeah. I would rather, capitalism is a word which is not a very positive feeling, and I would rather empathic business.
Yeah. Like, I see a business like an enterprise, like when the Greeks went with a boat to conquer something. That's for me the idea of what a business is we get like 4 or 5 people, 10, 1,000, whatever. We get together and we go for it. We go for a dream. And that's for me the difference of taking that word out. It's not only about capital. It's not only about money. It's making a difference in the world.
Great.
And yeah, and as you were saying, putting an ism there, like it's capitalism. It's like putting capital on top of everything. And I really don't like it. I mean, don't feel inspired by it. Anyway, we're saying conscious capitalism. Yeah, but it's a contradiction.
Okay. Very nice. So far, I see no more questions. Feel free to contact us anytime if you have more questions. We would love to have your comments down there if you liked it. We will send you some information with via email. Also the presentation. And if you're interested, if you want to see, if you want to hear more, just share my screen again. And you can see it. You can see it. Yes. Yeah. We have some further recommendations about what, if you want to really get into the subject a little bit more. There's 3 books out there. One is called Conscious Capitalism. The other one is Firms of Endearment, which is a study about companies applying the 4 pillars of conscious capitalism and how successful they are compared to others. And of course, the Conscious Capitalism Field Guide. I was mentioning before with Thomas, which is a field guide, very practical, how to apply these 4 pillars in your company. And here you have also the websites, our emails as well. And I would like to close it with a phrase from Conscious Capitalism, which I really, really like. And I think this is something really remarkable. Capitalism, practiced in a conscious way, is the biggest force for good the world has ever seen. Just think about it. And let's make the business more human, more sustainable, more from the heart. And we can change the world together. Yes, I am pretty sure about it.
It's not that we can, it's we are doing it.
We're doing it. That's beautiful said.
Yeah,
thank you very much.
And if you let me say something, Joe.
Last word from you.
They were saying also that about conscious capitalism isn't it all? I believe that we need to use some words to describe things, but it's not about words. It's about what we are doing. It's about integrating being human into business. I believe that that's beyond words. Let's not be trapped by words.
Great.
So many thanks. Thanks to Miguel Angel, to Global Business Owners, and to Joe.
And to Xavi, having some fun with you. I really enjoyed it. Very different.
Yeah, me too.
I hope you enjoyed it as well. There are some nice comments here. Thanks for making something very different. That's good. That's great. Hey, have a good afternoon. Stay healthy. Stay well.
Yeah.
And
I will also like to say, Miguel Angel, I don't know, maybe there's people that don't know GBO. So if you want to leave a link there. So
we will send a link to everybody so they can check out.
Okay, great.
Okay, thanks a lot. And we finish in time, almost 1 hour. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
Thank you, people. Big hug.
Big hug.